how do we want to say this? Like lights out. I don't know. I want to punch your lights out. No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
This is a good start.
Yep, lights out.
Yeah, everyone turn your lights off. We're about to get spooky.
Light a candle. Grab a cup of your preferred beverage.
Just wanted to thank Mollyroxy for allowing us to use her story, and let's get into it. Something is following me, and I fear for my life when I'm outside at night. This started happening about a year ago. I'm posting this just to see if anyone knows why this is happening or how to stop it. The first encounter was last spring, when me and my friend decided to go hiking on this trail that was about a 10-minute walk from my house. We were about a half a mile into the trail when we heard it. It was a woman screaming for her life. She yelled and pleaded with us to come help her, but when we yelled back to ask if we should call someone, she didn't answer, and she kept repeating, asking us to come help her. I'd like to say that we immediately left the woods and called the police, but we didn't. Something in our 15-year-old minds convinced us that it would be safe for us to go check it out ourselves. We armed ourselves with rocks and headed down the trail, when we heard another voice telling the woman to shut up or they would kill her. Then both voices went silent. This is when we finally called the non-emergency line, who referred us to 911, who told us to exit the trail and wait for an officer, and about 10 minutes later, one showed up. Like the police in most of these stories, they were no help, and they were very suspicious of two teenage girls calling in a possible homicide. They supposedly searched the whole 10-mile trail in about 20 minutes and came back and told us they found nothing, but took our names down and told us that they would get back to us if anything came up, and I guess nothing did because we never heard from them again. When I got home, I told my older sister, and this is what she told me. She thought it might be a skinwalker, a native legend that our father has told us about. The skinwalker will try to lure you in by disguising itself as someone you know or who needs help. I told her the story was crazy, but it still lingered in the back of my mind. The next encounter takes place a few nights later. I was walking the dogs with my sister when she looked over and sort of chuckled as she asked, "Why is the trash can in the middle of the road?" I looked past the gate of our community and I saw it. It was a wide creature with skinny legs and arms, with hands that looked like claws. I told her I didn't think it was a trash can, but I didn't know what it was either. Then it started moving towards us in a strange way that did not look human, but it did not exactly look like the animal way of moving either. I don't think I've ever run so fast in my entire life. As soon as we got home, we told my mom, and she looked at us like she thought we were crazy, but when we told my dad, he looked worried, and he told us about his experience when he was camping, and he saw something eerily similar to what we saw. We didn't walk the dogs at night for a good amount of time until we felt like things were normal again. Nothing happened for a while, and everything felt safe again. This happened in January. I made new friends and we were hanging out one night when one of them decided to show the rest of us a hideout they had made in the woods. A little stupid to go out in the woods at night, I know, but it was a fine neighborhood and it felt safe enough at the time. We were walking through the woods when suddenly we heard someone screaming for help. It was a man this time. I had learned my lesson the last time and I snapped at my friends to run and go back to the car. When we were back at the car, I told them about skinwalkers and my previous experiences, and they looked at me like I was crazy until I pulled up a video of a skinwalker sighting that sounded exactly like what we had heard. I didn't go into the woods at night for a while after that, but eventually I forgot it even happened, and I returned to the woods. The next encounter happened about a month ago. I thought it was over after those encounters, but apparently not. I was walking to the woods with one of my friends that was with me for a previous encounter. When I dropped my phone, he pulled out a flashlight and helped me look for it because it was pitch black. That's when I heard it, this time a little boy screaming for help. I couldn't quite make out what he was saying, but I had heard enough. I told my friend we should get out of there, and we did. The next encounter happened a few weeks ago. Me and my sister were walking our dog when we heard someone screaming incoherently. We yelled back to ask if they needed help, but the voice just kept screaming. I told my sister we needed to go back, and we did. The most recent encounter happened 2 nights ago. Me and my friends were walking around a ditch by their house. We didn't think it would be dangerous because we had gone there at night before. We were about a half mile away from the car when we saw it. My friend thought it was just a sign, but then it moved. It was a creature with horns, or arms that were raised above its head. We could only see the outline of it because it was pitch black, except for the street light, but it was clearly there, and it started moving towards us. We booked it to the car and went back to my house. I haven't been outside past dark since. I haven't told anyone about this last encounter over fear of scrutiny for going back outside after what had happened, but I feel like I have to tell someone. I know this isn't as scary as some of the other stories on here, but I genuinely fear for my life. I don't know what this creature wants or how to get rid of it, but it feels good to get this off my chest.
I have to say, after an encounter like that, why would you, if anybody suggested going out in the woods at night, I'd be like, nah.
Yeah, but
Nah.
I mean, she said nothing happened for a while, so maybe you're like, we're good.
Got lulled into a false sense of security.
Yeah,
It's
you're
like,
like,
you know
nothing's
what? I
happening.
haven't seen a demon in a good couple of days. I should go back outside.
Yeah, you're like, nothing's happening. I'm good.
Like, when it comes to, like, skinwalkers,
Mm-hmm.
I know, like, according to, like, legends and stuff, the more you talk about them, it, like, attracts them to you.
Yeah, so I've heard that too, and I'm like a pretty big fear of like skinwalkers. So
Yeah, same. I mean, to, like, the native people, like, they won't even talk about it with outsiders. So, like, there's, like, a whole lot that's... Well, I mean, they won't discuss it even amongst themselves just because of the superstition around them coming when they're talked about.
oh great. I didn't really
Yeah.
know the extent, but now I'm like nervous.
Ah,
Just read a whole story.
I think that a lot of things that are perceived as skinwalkers, or even what Native Americans perceive as skinwalkers, like, skinwalkers are part of their culture,
Mm-hmm.
but, like, what we say may not necessarily be their skinwalkers. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, if this is a real entity,
Yeah, it might
like...
be something else.
Yeah, exactly.